Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all the educators joining us today. I'm Dr. Shanuli Ray, founder of EdVision, and I'm delighted to welcome you to today's online workshop, The Calm Classroom, 5 Systems to Handle Disruptive Students. I'm also joined by my esteemed co-founder, Dr. Vikrant Singhal, as we bring together educators committed to creating calmer, more positive, and emotionally balanced classrooms. In today's rapidly changing educational environment, classroom management is no longer just about discipline. It is about understanding behavior, building respectful relationships, and creating learning spaces where students feel engaged, safe, and motivated. Today's session will focus on practical, emotionally intelligent strategies that educators can immediately apply to handle disruptive behavior with confidence and calmness. We are truly honored to have with us Ms. Alka Sharma, Principal of Rahul Model Public School, New Delhi, who will guide us through this highly insightful and practical session. On behalf of Team EdVision, thank you for joining us and investing in your professional growth. Let us begin this enriching learning journey together. Welcome, ma'am, to EdVision platform, and the floor is all yours now.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let me share first. Is it visual, ma'am?
Not yet.
Not yet, no. Wait a minute.
Good evening. Good evening to all.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's visual?
Yes, now it is visible. If you can expand.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think it is clear to all the participants, no? The PPT. Yes.
Now it's okay, ma'am?
Yes. It's
Yes.
fine.
Good evening, all.
I request everyone,
Am I
please.
audible?
Yes, ma'am. Pooja, ma'am, could you please mute yourself?
Yes, good evening to all. And hope all are well. First of all, before starting this workshop, let me thanks to EdVision team that they invited me for this workshop. I'm really very thankful to you, ma'am. And next, today is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all. After all, we all are teachers and second mother of all the students. So today we are going to learn how to handle the students. In home, we learn how to handle 1 or 2 students, but it's a very difficult job. When we go in a class and 35 to 40 students are there, and then we have to handle all those students. And we should know all about them. Little difficult, but not impossible. We can do this because we are teachers. So today in this workshop, we are going to learn about the calm classroom. Calm classroom means it doesn't mean silent classroom. It means smoothly our classroom should run. For that, we should know all about students. So to know all about the students, let us, in this workshop, everywhere examples are there, class scenarios are there, you all will enjoy. So let us enter in a classroom where see this behavior and just please answer one question. Okay, just first of all, see, you are in a classroom, you entered in a classroom and a student keeps tapping a pencil loudly. Two students whisper during your explanation. One is wandering around. One student refuses to open his book. Please use your chat box and please answer the question. What's your first instinctive response? What will be your response if such a mess class will be there? Ma'am, I can see the responses. Let me see.
Yes, you can unmute and share also. Or write in the chat.
Yes, ma'am. It's okay.
I am Krishna Priya from Kerala.
Okay.
I am Krishna Priya from Kerala. I will request them because we can't order or we can't make any kind of harsh words, because I will request, please be quiet, will you?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Anyone else,
And
please?
yes, we received some of the response in the chat box. Sami Unisa ma'am has written, it will be very much disturbing. Sumana ma'am has written, students keep tapping the pencil. We can say, be quiet.
Okay. Good answer.
Archana ma'am has written, stop talking.
Okay. Thanks, ma'am. Thank you. Your answer will support me a lot. And I got the answer so that my workshop then will be
Hello.
very useful for you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
May I disturb? When I will enter in like this classroom, I will first tell them, hands up, sit down, head down, look at the left. Physical activity first I'll take so that they can concentrate to the teacher. They will get attached to the teacher and we will come back to our regular teaching.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. So,
And
all
Sami
responses are...
one more response. Sami Unisa ma'am has written, we can say, here is something interesting for you.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Mansi ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
I would probably after entering the class for a couple of minutes, I will stand still in the class, observing the class and absorb the atmosphere of the class. And as someone said, then okay, we will start with some tapping exercise, physical exercise. Probably that would be followed.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you to all. And one more question is there. Why were they doing so? Can you guess? All responses are different. So this is what we want to know, that why are they doing so?
Distraction much. Krishna Priya ma'am has written distraction.
Distraction. Okay. Distraction is there. This is, thank you, ma'am. Here, means something. Silent speaking is there.
Krishna Priya ma'am has also written, not to constant focus on the same.
Okay. So why are they doing so? So we want to know the root cause of this, that why are they doing so? Root cause disruption of students. This is our first motive, because if we don't know the root cause of this disruption, we can't apply all these 5 systems. 5 systems like calm authority, engagement, classroom structure, emotionally intelligent, discipline, and the restoring respect and culture. To implement all the system, first of all, we should have to know what is the root cause of the disruption. So let us move to the next step. Root cause of disruptive behavior is all this. First is attention seeking and this emotional distress. Both are different. Behavior as a communication, and then common educator triggers. So let's start one by one. Now, please, again, what do students do to seek attention? This is the first one we want to know about the students. We are entering in the student's mind. So, what do you think? What do students do to seek attention? What actions are there in the classroom? You can write down in the chat box, ma'am. Any answer what do they want from you? What they do?
Various reasons.
What are the
Mansi
actions?
ma'am has written. Some
What, ma'am?
Unisa ma'am has written, they will disturb others.
Okay, they will disturb always. Good.
Krishna Priya ma'am has written noise.
Okay, noise. Okay, let me share. First is calling out repeatedly. Means again and again. Again and again, they are shouting in the class. Next one, making jokes at inappropriate times. Means when you are teaching at that time, they start joking, or you are instructing something at that time, they start joking. Next one is deliberately breaking the rules. So this is also a part that they do this thing because they want that someone should see us. They want to distract others, withdrawing and then suddenly lashing out. Yes, the work and want to distract the class. Okay, next one. Crying. Yes, this is also there. They start crying. The students start crying, and this disturbs your class. What happened? What happened? Anything serious is there, but whether it is serious or not, this we have to see. Then showing anger when overwhelmed. Yes, it is there. It's not necessary that. Yes, it's not necessary. Why it is doing so? Yes, overwhelming means when they are overwhelmed, then when they are angry, then they feel overwhelmed because they don't know how to show the emotions. Next one is, what is the key? Echo is there, ma'am.
Yes. I think, are you, have you kept your mobile open or something like this?
Even your voice is echoing. Okay. Okay, what is the key motive of?
Yes, we
Yes,
received some of the chats that we can just a minute. Mansi Bam has written, children can focus only for 5 minutes. And then Sendil Madhavi ma'am has written, I can start with smiling face, good moral story. And Mansi ma'am has written emotional baggages.
Okay, you start the classroom. Good, ma'am. But we are here understanding the students. So now the next question is, what is the key motive of disruption? They are disturbing the class. So what is the key motive? Miss, why are they calling out? Why are they joking in the class? Why are they breaking the rules?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes,
Actually,
ma'am.
they do all these types of disruptive behavior. Either we are not presenting our teaching in an effective manner, we are not engaging them, and the subject may not be an interesting part to them. Maybe we are going lecture method, teacher centered, not interacting with them. So they are not interested in whatever task, what we are wanting to teach them.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So why
Yes.
echoing? I do not know. We have received from Deepa ma'am attention seeking and Baila ma'am to taste the teacher's patience.
That's the teacher patience. Yes, sir. This is all right. Dragging of the teachers always goes on. Yes. So, what they are really communicating? They're communicating that if they are calling out and all these activities, competing for spotlight, disruptive action, seeking negative attention, every action has a message, and message is see me. It means just see, I am also part of the class. So look at me. Next one is notice me. Wait a minute. Notice me if I'm not following rules. It means if I'm not following rules, even then see me, talk to me. Next one is I want recognition. Recognition means something you that in your mouth, in your words, my name should also be there, even if I am negative. It's all about attention. It's all about the proof of the presence in the class. This is what student want. Okay, next one is, this is the one they are doing, means directly and disturbing the class. But one more reason is the emotional distress. Sometimes we can't find out that what is this. Is it all about attention seeking or it is all about emotions? So the behavior of emotionally distressed students are, first one is withdrawal. Withdrawal, they are coming out, means they are leaving things. Then next one is sudden outburst. Suddenly they feel that, okay, no, I don't want to do this. Refusal. Say that if we ask something to them, they won't accept. And then physical signals means they won't talk, maybe head down and all that. Inconsistent engagement in anything else, maybe they engage themselves. And then peer conflict, it means isolating themselves, sitting aside, alone, all alone in the class. So my question is now, why are they behaving so? If they want to sit all alone in the class, why? If they don't want, they don't have any interest in your subject, then what's the reason? It's not always that they want attention. Sometimes something else is also there. Why do they start crying? Even why do they start yelling even? It's not necessary. If they yell, it means they want to disturb the class. They want to say something about themselves. Anyone, please?
Ma'am, they must be having some personal problem, maybe a notebook problem or maybe any health issue or sometimes it happens that they are not interested in the studies. They want to tell something to that particular teacher. It happens sometimes. Maybe this
Yes.
reason.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Anyone else, please? You can write down in the chat box also, ma'am, please.
Ma'am, children may have different learning styles. Everybody may not be of that. Some may be bodily kinesthetic, some might be linguistic. So there may be their learning styles may, the way we are imparting the lesson may not be, they may not be able to understand it. So because of their differences in learning style also may not interest the lesson to them.
Okay. Anyone else?
Deepa ma'am has written they don't know how to handle their emotions or stress.
Yeah. Okay. Now, here, some emotions are there, some feelings are there of emotionally distressed students that they are saying with their actions that I feel unsafe and unheard. Means they are feeling unsafe. And next one is I am overwhelmed and need support. It means he doesn't know how to handle the situation, how we have to react. Sometimes we have seen that a student is overwhelmed and that student starts beating anyone else. This is the way of expressing. It is his way, but it's wrong because it is hurting someone else, but that student doesn't know. Okay, next one is I don't know how to express feeling in words. That's why they start crying. They start yelling. They start disturbing others. So, and the next one is I want comfort, not punishment. They are saying that deal with me very politely. We don't want any punishment. Don't ask me why am I doing this. Ask me why am I doing this. Okay, directly if you give punishment to the students and the student feel unsafe. That's why these actions shows that talk to us, feel us, feel our feeling, find out what they want, why they are emotionally distressed. Is there any problem in the school or is there any problem at home? Maybe they can't share with anyone, but we teachers have, we can say, 100 eyes to see the child. So anyway, and every action of a child says something, and that only a teacher can understand. Okay, next topic is, do you think behavior can be a type of communication?
Okay, for earlier.
All are interrelated.
Yes, ma'am. Let me read out. Somebody has written, like Paula ma'am has written, shyness or hesitate to tell the answer. And Mansi ma'am has written, sometimes peer pressure as well. These are
Yes.
the responses of the previous slide.
Yes, emotionally distressed nowadays are too much just because of bullying also. But he can't share, but by his actions and he was communicating that we have to understand. We should know that why the student is behaving like this. And this knowledge, if we know a child's behavior, only then we can get a remedy. But problems should be known to us. Okay, next one is, do you think behavior can be a type of communication? Just, ma'am, in yes or no, please
Yes,
write
ma'am.
on the chat box. If you think yes, then please write on yes.
Yes, we are writing. Okay, everyone is writing as yes.
Okay. Maximum yes are coming, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Now the next one is behavior. Behavior as a What is the root cause of disruptive behaviors? This behavior as a communication, is there any point? What are the behaviors? Anyone wants to say something about this?
Ma'am, if a child is not happy with something, if it's his or her demand is not been fulfilled by the parent, or if there is a argument or fight at home, front which a child is carrying the baggage at home, and as you are already we are speaking about emotional distress, definitely that is an add-on. So these are could be the possible reasons. Maybe that is an add-on.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Let's see, ma'am, what are the different actions are of the students, and then yes, ma'am. Anyone is speaking, I think. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Actions are, these are the actions. Constant interrupting or calling out. Okay, what do you think? After reading all these actions, what do you think? Is there any input that why are they doing so? What's the need of the student while calling out, walking out of class? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, anyone wants to share anything?
Someone was speaking, ma'am.
I think it was in the background.
Yes. Now the throwing books, refusing to work, testing or mocking peers, or excessive talking. Do you think, is there any need behind these actions? What is the student's need? What do we understand that if they are doing so, then what is the need of the student? Okay, this is the message they want to say, send us, that if they are constantly interrupting or calling out, it means they are saying that notice me, I am feel invisible. It means in a class he feels that he is no one is asking him, no one is noticing him that I'm here, that he wants that notice him. Then walking out of class, it means I will overwhelm and need space. And a student if throws books, then I don't know how to cope with this task. It's his really, this is the, I think, very main genuine feeling of a student. If a student is throwing book, it doesn't mean that he doesn't want to read. Any problem is there. And if a student is refusing work, that I am anxious, confused, or afraid of failing, maybe any action is behind this. The next one is teasing. I want to belong, but I don't know how. It means a student want to work, want to be involved in the class, want to do something, but he doesn't know the way. He doesn't know how to present it. So this they want that someone should be there to understand that child, to understand me and explain me. That hold my finger and bring me in that scenario. And if excessive talking is there, it means that student feels bored. He is saying that, okay, now please, maybe change the topic, maybe change the way of teaching. Any reason can be. Maybe maybe he is not interested with the buddy. So many reasons are there. So next one is non-verbal languages. Without any word, they are saying something. Crossed arms, avoiding eye contact, restless movements, turning away, or slouching, or raised voice, or silence. So what do they need? Student needs this, that they want pace, safety, or reassurance for that before re-engaging. Re-engaging means entering in any other subject, means doing something, some other activity. And then if restless movements are there, tapping and playing with the fingers or with their bodies, then want a movement break. That one teacher has said, I start doing activities, hands up, hands down. Okay, this is what they want. Hands-on activities they want. Then the next one is turning away. It means they don't want more and more work, less work, so that very easily they will do. Clear instructions they want. They want to say, they want to convey these messages. The next one is want their feelings acknowledged. That come to us, talk to us, know about us, so that we will feel safe in reading, safe in studying, and safe in the class. And then next one is want time and privacy. So they want compatibility with the children. So next one is emotional signals like crying, sudden anger, withdrawal, excessive laughter, refusal to participate, and sudden withdrawal from the peers also. These emotional signals are very serious because it's very difficult to diagnose all these things, to know the child. And then we need rectification also to these emotional signals. So here also that every need, whether it's emotional or non-verbal or all actions, everyone there, they want attention, they want comfort, they want that teacher should know us, they should calm us, they patiently they deal with us, and they want that hold our finger and ask her to enter in this language or in this study or in this subject. This assurance they want, that they are not going to scold them, but they are going to teach them. This is what. So, yes, this one, last one in this behavior as communication, context matter. It's very necessary. It's not necessary that if a child is yelling in the class, it means he wants attention. See the context. He is yelling maybe because of emotions. Someone hurt him. He wants help. So what is the matter? Every time, every action doesn't have same solution. Every time in the class, if anyone is throwing book, it doesn't mean he is indisciplined. Any other reason that can also be there. So we have to find out whether a child is disturbing him, or that book is means any subject matter is not going in his mind, it is not understandable to him, or again one teacher said that in the same rote learning method, or you can say repeated that lecture method if they teaching, then that student is not understanding. So everywhere context matters. So every problem that has different solutions. So for this, we have to read the students, their mind, their behavior, their gestures, their way of reacting. So all this matters. So next one is, do you think teachers can be the reason of disruptive behavior of the students? Yes, earlier few teachers
Yes, ma'am.
already has given answer. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Any one reason, ma'am?
Actually, children are more curious about new things, so we should make that subject interesting uh, every time. So they should get excitement. Next period, what should teacher will teach us, or how she is going to teach us? They should get that excitement, curiosity, so that they will be interested during that period.
Okay. Anyone else, please? One.
Can we say traditional teaching method, like a lecturing?
Okay. Okay. Anyone else, please?
Yes, ma'am.
One
It may be teacher, may be because sometimes it happens in a class because of some behavior of a child. Teachers labels the child or insult in general in front of everyone. So the child get insulted and he is having some aggressive behavior against the teacher. So whenever she is teaching in the next class, he wants to disturb her, doesn't want her to work smoothly.
Yes. Okay. Now let's see. These are the common educator triggers. It means the first one is inconsistent rules. It means maybe whatever rules we are framing, they are not proper. It means you can say anytime we are switching, anytime if once we are saying one rule that all of you sit down, and later on if anyone sits, then who asks you to sit? It means different. It means very easily we are shifting to other rule. Okay, and then next one is public humiliation. If we ask any student in whole class or scold any student in between all his friends, then this may hurt the child. So we should not scold the child in the class. This public humiliation, it means class, their prestige, their respect triggered. So next one is overuse of shouting. Sometimes what we educators do, we just keep on yelling, sit down, stand up, no one is listening. So this yelling or shouting means calmly if we won't speak, and the more we yell, the more students they shout. So our over yelling may confuse or may disturb the child, and they start creating disturbance in that emotionally or in actions. They disturb the class. Next one is ignoring positive behavior. When a teacher just start praising only one student, two students, four students, then what happened? A student who is seeking attention of a teacher, that student is sitting behind and you are not recognizing that student. If a student is so very much disturbing child, even then he want a positive response. Once if he does a positive behavior, then he needs praise. He needs that teacher should say, good student, good done. But if he is not getting that praise, then they disrupt the class. Then unclear instructions are there. Unclear instruction means one day, if you are saying that, okay, one student said, I didn't do any homework. And you said, okay, bring it tomorrow. And again tomorrow, any student there, he is not doing that homework. And if you scold that child, it means there is a difference in the instructions. A common instruction should be there. It should not be there that with one student you are behaving in one way and with another student you are behaving in another way. If no one is, if anyone is not doing one work, and what is that step you are going to take? It should be same. Okay. Then unmanaged transitions. Okay, you have asked, okay, all of you do individually this work. Now just after 5 minutes, you are asking, okay, now we will do group work. And no clear instructions are there that how many students group are there, that that which student will sit with which student. So when it's going on, then student puzzles, and what they do whatever they want. And then teacher always confused and say that you don't know that you have to do like this. It means we have to manage such transitions, whatever we are shifting our studies from one zone to another, whether from individual to group or group to individual. Then teachers stress signals. Yes, this is the point that every student know. We think that students never notice us. They never look at our behavior. They always notice us, and they observe that when the teacher is happy, when the teacher is sad, and when she is disturbed. So according to that, they behave with the teacher. Whenever we are in the class, our behavior, our body language, our way of speaking gives them a signal that teacher is in which mode. She is in which mode, then what can we say and what can't we say? Very easily they can observe. So all the students' behavior we just read, and we come to know about a child, that what does a child want, and how they disrupt the class, in how many ways the student can present themselves. Now things come up to us, that how are we going to deal with that? How are you going to deal with that? Yes, anyone want to say something about this disruption of the students, please? Okay, let us continue with it. Now the system 1, calm authority framework. In these 3 points are coming: authority without shouting, voice, body language presence, firm but respectful discipline. Let's shift to the first one, authority without shouting. So here is the class scenario. Please read it. And under the heading authority without shouting, how we have to respond. You can speak, unmute yourself, you can speak one by one, or you can write in chat box.
Ma'am, in this case, I will
Yes.
keep one condition. Those who will finish the project early and those who will expand the project in a group, I will give some surprise. I will tell some surprise so that they will be interested in that project and they will be busy with that project and they will complete that project before time or on time.
Okay. Anyone else, please? Anyone else, please? Okay. If situation is this, how our voice will be? If this situation is there, then how
Mansi ma'am
the
has
voice of
mentioned.
a teacher should be?
Mansi ma'am has mentioned star or star certificate to the group. Okay. I think this is for this grade 7 students.
Hello?
Hello. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. I am asking, rather write in chat box or you unmute yourself. What type of voice should be there in the class if situation is this? Anyone, please? Yes. If such type of situation is this, a mess is there in that class, noise level is rising, then what we have to first ask them that see at me means look at me or look here means their concentration level we have to bring in one point, that see here I'm saying something means everyone should behave in the same manner so that very firmly, very calmly we can ask them. Then body language, then what we can say that we can do the hands up, that we can raise the hand and then ask them, okay, everyone can raise the hand, one is doing, two is doing, third is doing, any activity is going on, then everyone will shift in that mode. So, and then next one is consistency in rule. It means everyone will settle down. It means how you have to do. There's a teacher, one teacher said that competition means if whoever is doing work first, then he will be rewarded. This should also be there so that students will run for the reward. They will do that work first and first come first will get the reward. Then he will be declared as the good student or best student. Then next one is psychological safety. Psychological safety means if they are doing so, then we have to do. Respectful corrections we have to do. We should go to the child and ask them, okay, this is what you are not doing or lacking. In this way you can do. Instead of yelling at that child or asking them that you can't do, we have to do corrections or that let him feel that it's okay if you don't know, we can correct it. Firm but respectful approach. Yes, this is why there that loud voice we should not use. We should very carefully deal with the student. Okay, next one is, again the scenario is here that the voice, body language and presence, how a teacher should react in the class, how she should stand in the class, what type of gestures they have to give when this situation is there. Please read the situation and please share that what type of gesture, voice or body language should be there in the class.
Ma'am, in this scenario, what you can do is like, as they are working in groups, and you know that one of the group is not just they are wasting the time, and instead of standing at one corner and yelling at them, the teacher can go and check what work they are doing in group. Are they going as per the guidelines or not? Or you should see that how much they have worked. Encourage them. Okay, so far you have got good. Try more. Try in another way, you will get better results. This is the way, if the teacher speaks, the child will get motivated to do the work.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am. Thank you,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
ma'am, in
Anyone
this
else
case,
wants to share, please?
yes, ma'am. In this case, first I'll set the class rule before starting the project, and then I will tell them, like before I have informed that who will complete the task first, they will be rewarded. And also, everyone has to complete this task within time, and those who will finish first, they will be judging others, not exactly judging, they will be helping out other team also, so that peer learning will happen, silence will be kept in the class, and target will be completed within time.
Yes. Anyone else, please? Okay. All are good. All answers are good. But here, this is what you all are right. This is a group work. And group work is always an attraction for a child. We can ask them formally, if you are not interested in doing it, then we can stop it. Okay. And eye contact should be there. And then if we want to make any change, if we want to that one group, we want ask them that we have to sit together and do the work calmly. Instead of scolding them that you are disturbing the class, we can ask them, okay, this much you have done, and we can give some hint and ask them to reframe your work, again start working on it. The calm voice of a teacher and their body language means favorable body language means they feel safe that okay, teacher is not going to beat us and she is not going to scold us. They will feel happy, and in that group they will feel respected. So this type of behavior every student. So next one is firm but respectful discipline. Yes, scenario is this. What will you do? During an English lesson, the teacher asks students to open their book. One student, Ananya, responds sarcastically, why should I? This is boring. Why that chapter is boring for that child? Anyone, please?
Maybe she must be having difficulty to understand the topic,
Okay.
or for her that the topic will not be interested in her view.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Good. Anyone else, please? Vara Lakshmi, ma'am.
Um,
Okay, we receive one chat.
Okay.
may I, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Maybe students must not be liking the traditional method of teaching. Instead of that, we can do role play. Then that girl will automatically, she will come forward and she will be participating in role play. Like that, they will understand. Traditional method she must not be liking because of that.
Okay.
Okay, here
Now the
two responses in the chat. When Madhavi ma'am has written, when I am taking the class, they will be easily understand with my body language. And Mansi ma'am has written, start with the pep talk and gradually bring to the main topic.
yes. Now when this situation is there, then how we have to react? That first of all, clarity of expectations should be there. What do we want in this class? Whatever we want, that should be delivered to the students. Then next one is consistency. Whatever we are doing it continuously. We are not breaking it or switching it to anything else. Then respectful language with the child should be used. We should not scold her. Why are you doing so? We should have to understand her problem. And then we shift to private corrections. Private corrections, because this time that class will disturb. So later on, we will discuss with that. And then firm boundaries and empathy. It's very necessary. Then we can explain the child that such type of behavior is not good. We can ask her, if you are doing like this, maybe other students will also react like this. But the question is, if we scold her, then she won't respect you. Maybe she will feel that child will feel disrespect. So we should understand her problem. But at that time, class is going on, and we can't leave all other students' studies also. We can't leave our period also. So what we have to do, respectfully, we can ask her, it's okay, beta, this time this is there. Later on, I'll talk to you about your problem and what do you want from us. So very firmly, we can ask her, we can take her in her own confidence, so that she will feel that, okay, ma'am is going to listen to us. She will listen, she's going to listen to us after this period. And after this period, I'll ask the teacher whatever she wants. So very respectful behavior will be there. She feels very connected. Yes, Mansi ma'am.
Ma'am, here I would like to say, like my personal experience in my grade 9 and 10 classes. I was in grade 8 actually, and one of the girl was very, she was not actually interested in the class, and I was supposed to teach adolescence lesson. So as you are saying all the actions, what you are saying, what are the clarities and consistency, but what I said that actually we should start with a pep talk and gradually bringing to the main topic. It's very apt for new generation, this generation of children, because they are not focused. So what I, as I have a couple of times I have come across with this situation. So generally when we start talking about the topic of of their interest, Like as I was teaching adolescents in the class, I just started a talk in the class, and eventually I, without even her notice, I told her where she was going wrong, what we are expecting from her and the other elders and teachers, and eventually I could bring the that what was the scenario of the class more interactive, and then everybody got involved. So definitely we could do the correction in private, but when the class is going on, that is a diagnostic part can be done later. I would what I diagnosis is done, but the correction could be done later. But at that moment, as a teacher, what I feel, if the class is not having attention, I should start with the topic what they like, and eventually extract the main topic what from where we can bring into the interest in the children. This is what I feel, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Your feeling is perfectly all right, ma'am. This you are talking about that pep talk. It is coming later on, but here the situation is that one student is doing so. If one student is doing so, because of that student, all other students should not be harmed, or you can say that there is a they should not miss that class, or wastage of time should be there. So very calmly we are asking that student that this is my period and period is going on. In this period, I can't explain or ask to you that what is why this behavior is there. You are behaving like this.
I am also saying
Later
that only,
we'll
ma'am.
have, just now we continue our chapter.
Definitely,
I
ma'am.
can't leave that also. Yes, ma'am. Mansi, ma'am.
Definitely. I am also saying the teacher should be like I am, as a being a science teacher, I know what I'm going to teach, and I will not talk on some random topic. I
Yes.
will choose, I should be more sensible in my class to pick up a talk on certain topic which I can drive my children to the main topic. That is what I mean to say. That's
Yes.
it, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much. I agree with you. I'm not saying that you are wrong or I am right. I'm just saying that I am taking that child there, and okay, this pep talk is here for a very few seconds. Pep talk can be continued. Mansi ma'am, you are not wrong. I'm not saying that.
No, ma'am, please, oh, ma'am, it's an open forum. We actually
Yes,
work
ma'am.
on the common strategy to be.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. It's not like that. Please, please. I'm sorry if
We are
I
sharing
have.
our experience.
I am sharing my experience.
Yeah.
That's it, ma'am. Please, if
Yes, ma'am.
don't take it in other way, ma'am. Please.
Yes. Now, next system is system number 2, engagement system. In this engagement system, 2 types are coming: micro interactions and reducing boredom based disruptions. Here the scenario is class sound. It's all about student distracted during independent work. In class 7, during a geography lesson, 2 students, Ria and Aman, begin whispering while the teacher explains the water cycle. Okay, this scenario is there. Now, please, any input anyone wants to say about this? These are few hints you can use, and please speak. Interaction make this workshop live. Anyone? You can write in chat box also, ma'am. Okay, if we talk about brief check-ins, Just now Mansi ma'am was saying brief check-ins. Yes. So brief check-in should be there. It means whenever such class is there, what we have to do, like little bit check should be there. We have to go to the student and that to Ria and Aman, and whatever they are going, we have to enter in their whispering that what are they doing. Then we have to acknowledge them. What is going on? What are we doing? We are doing this water cycle. In that, we can ask them, okay, beta, you are here. You have reached certain point. Now, how will you move forward? We can redirect them for the work. Maybe they miss, or in between they feel that they started distracting, or they distracted their minds, then we can very calmly redirect them. And then next is mini questions. Short questions we can ask them related to that, so that they feel that, okay, she is not scolding us, she is asking questions related to that topic. If they know better, if they don't know, we can guide them. So positive reinforcement will be there. Positive, because of this positive reinforcement, students will feel connected and they will again start doing the work. They won't distract the class. Okay, next one is reducing boredom based disruption. Okay, this one is situation. Students distracted during independent work. Okay, all these steps are there. Please write all these steps in correct numbers. What step should be first? What step should be second? What step should be third? In the correct numbers after reading this. Yes, Shanoli ma'am. In chat box, answers are coming.
Let me check. No, still not.
Please. Please.
Ma'am, in this case, I'll just call out Amit's name in the class. I will be telling, today I'm confident that Amit will do this, solve this problem first. Am I right, Amit? I will ask to him directly. So he will be interested in that problem.
Okay, here Mansi ma'am has selected 2, 1, 3, 4.
Okay.
2, lightly tap Amit's desk. 1, show me your first step here. 3, good start, keep going. 4, moves away.
Okay.
Anyone else want to? Okay, Oppo. What is the name, ma'am? Could you please share your name? Who has joined with phone? She or he, I do not know. I will try to motivate him to do the work. Archana ma'am. Okay. Archana ma'am has written, I will try to motivate him to do the work.
Okay. Yes. Okay, here it's Mansi ma'am, I think, right, that lightly taps on his desk and then show me your first step. First, this, she is right, and then good start, motivate the child, and then moves away. In this way, very calmly, without saying anything, without scolding, we can ask the child to continue the work. Okay, then it will reduce the student stress, or you can say whatever he was doing, he was distracting himself from the work. We can take the student back to the work. So here more steps are there that we can make our class live. First one is variety in activities. So please share any activity which you can do in the class to make the class live, active. It should not be bored. Anyone, please? Who is implementing any activity in the class? Like in the beginning, one teacher said that I asked students to hands up, hands down. This is a way, this is the activity. You can ask students to maintain the discipline also, and class will not feel that boredom. They won't feel boredom. So anyone is there, please share one activity.
Ma'am, to solve the problem, if I give some what we say, some body language plus sign dance steps for some multiplication or division or anything is equal to. If I just give clue, they will immediately solve out. Or one student can come forward if I ask them to show the which step is it multiplication, so that they will be interested and they will complete the problem.
Yes, sir. Anyone else, please? Thank you, ma'am. Varalakshmi, ma'am. Mansi, ma'am.
Some mental math, ma'am, some multiplication if they are distracted, probably dodging or quick numbering, adding up or subtraction. That would help in bringing the class back to the interaction. That is what I'm not maths teacher, but this is what I feel could work.
No, in any class. Ma'am, it's not all about math. Now it's a general way that in whatever is your subject, it's okay that what to variety in activities. Or now it's second is micro interaction. What we are just sharing our experience. What micro interactions we do in the class.
I feel as it is a maths class, then simple maths sum, depending upon the level of the class, if it is grade 1 or 2, simple math sums, or probably dodging, or probably skip counting, or reverse counting. This will definitely work, ma'am. And if the classes are little higher, we can ask formulas, we can ask about the
Yes.
what about the like what is that, Pythagoras theorem, something depending upon the class wise, ma'am.
Yes, it's all about active participation also, whatever you're saying, that you are actively asking students that okay, come and participate so that they won't distract. It won't be a bore class for them because everyone is acting actively. They are coming here and participating actively. They are not just listening. Then chunking. It means we can break our lessons, we can break our teaching, or means small chunks, we can deliver our chapters, deliver our lessons. Then movement and energy breaks. Okay, if continuously the students are sitting on the desk, you can ask them to move, come out from the desk and then again go hands up, hands down. So in this way, they will feel, okay, once you can ask them, okay, all of you drink water. So such little acts will help the child to feel happy and come out from that scenario, and again he can enter in the same study scenario. Then
We
relevance
cannot-
and choice connect to the right. Yes. If they think that, okay, monotonous, in a monotonous way we are teaching and the same bookish language we are teaching. In between we can ask them, okay, relate it with your life. What is the relation, this topic have a relation in your life? What will you do if you are here? So in this way, we can make our class live and they won't feel bored and complete interaction will be there. And interaction will be there, then everyone will participate and everyone will happy and everyone will learn. Then the third system is classroom structure
Okay,
system.
ma'am, we received some chats like
Yes, ma'am.
Archana ma'am mentioned some exercise like hands up, down, or claps. Pooja ma'am has mentioned by giving them any puzzles related to the
Yes.
subject. And
Good.
Mansi ma'am
Yes,
has
of course.
mentioned real life examples.
Yes. Yes, real life example. Yes, ma'am. True, everything is right. In this way, we can make our class interactive and interesting. Now, the third system is all about classroom structure system. That first one is routines to reduce chaos, transition management, seating and attention strategies. Again, here's a scenario. After a math drill, students finish at different times. Some start chatting, others wander, a few begin playing with materials. The room feels noisy and unfocused. Now, in such situation, what type of routines we have to use? What is missing there? That whoever is doing first, he is doing whatever he wants. Then what rules, what routines should be there in the class? Any rule, ma'am, please? If you are using in your class any rule, you can share it, ma'am.
In this, ma'am, those who finishes first, I'll will first, before starting or before giving target, I'll explain the rules. Those who will finish first, they will come to the chart or they will come to me or they will do another sum like that or any answer. You think about something so that you can share with me without disturbing any other students.
Okay. Anyone else?
Ma'am, if it is a maths drill, what I would do, probably can be happen, definitely the smart children finishes the task first.
Yes.
So as we know that children learn very fast from their friends. So I will probably, that could be, I don't know how is the practice, but then probably I will engage those smart learners with the children who are finding little difficulty in solving the problem and helping them in understanding and doing the whatever task is given. That could be one strategy I would follow.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, same.
Yes. Now, in this classroom structure, we are talking about rules, routines. Then first is that student should feel ease in the class. I feel if you make a routine, it will become a rule for a child forever. So a student should know if this teacher is coming, what is her role? What is she going to ask us? Like if we say morning start routine, what we do, we enter the class and ask them, okay, all of you settle down, open your notebook, write down date, write down class work, write down heading, and then start. And no one will talk. Means clear instructions are there. Then next day, if that teacher is going in the class, No need to, after few days, no need to say anything. They are ready with their notebook, with their pen, pencil, and they will start writing. This is the routine. That means we have to set the routine, and later on, so that later on it will become a rule. Same as in transition routine also, whenever we shift from one type of activity to another type of activity, clear instructions are there. Like we listen that if instructions are clear, then half work is done. If instructions are clear, then half work is done. So our instructions, our routine of doing any activity should be set, should be clear, and everyone should listen. For that we have to work. Then attention routine. How we have to give attention. Then what are we going to do it? Okay, one attention routine. Anyone please share any one attention routine.
Krishna Priya ma'am, could you please mute yourself? Krishna Priya ma'am, could you please
Yes.
mute yourself?
Ma'am, Krishna Priya ma'am, please share any one attention routine. Instead of saying mute yourself, ma'am, any one attention routine, please share. But I used to sing that song that if you are happy and you know it, clap your hands. Then they also
I used to rhyme for my children like one little ant for tap, 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 two little hands for cut, 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 three
Yes,
little hands for okay, and four little hands for cross, 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 five little hands for clap your hands.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Yes, this is what
Swati ma'am has written reverse counting. Okay, she has written
Yes.
from 5 to 1. We can make it longer also.
Yes,
Mansi
even
ma'am
it
has
was
written my music therapy as morning routine. Yes.
yes. Okay. So such attention routine should be there so that students won't feel bored. And if once we start it, they energize. Again, they energize themselves, and we are the mode of that. Then again in group work, clear instructions should be there. 5 students should be there. What they have to do, who is the head, who is going to continue, who is going to take the charge, so that no fight will be there. Nothing will be there, and everything will go calmly. In group work, mostly what happened that one student become bossy and one student becomes sleeping partner. So it should not be there. Everyone should work. For that, clear group work instruction should be there. Then at the end class or the routine, again we have to ask them, okay, before packing your bag, check your notebooks, check your books, check your all accessories, so that your students will be habitual. Okay, ma'am is going to see ask us, so we have to do it. It means whatever we instruct, whatever routine we are maintaining with the student, it will become a rule for a child. So next one is transition method. Again, it is little bit related to the previous, all the instructions we have sent. We have discussed. Students are finishing a math worksheet, some are done early. Okay, it's all about again the same, all about instruction, that whenever we are shifting from one thing to another, clear signals should be there, step-by-step instructions should be there, because in our class, every type of students are there. Some will understand your fast dwelling, some will understand that one by one clearly we should get instructions. We can't listen continuously all the points. And then practice early. It means before that, before whatever you are doing, we have to ask them to practice, do something, and time limits we have to give them. What is the time limit of doing work? Because this is very important. Because of this time limit, our students will perform in the exams timely. Otherwise, they won't write if we extend our time according to the student's need, or you can say our need. We should not give that much time. We should always give time limit. They should know only in this time limit we have to work. Then positive enforcement should be there. Yes, of course, we have to promote, we have to motivate students all the time. And strategic movements. Strategic movements means whatever changes we are doing in the group or doing in the work, that should be clear, and that will make the class happy, interactive, interesting, and best for you. Okay, next one is this.
Okay,
Seating
before
and
that, yes, ma'am.
attention.
Madhavi ma'am
Yes, ma'am.
has written, my class children always using the board work. I put two members engaging the task completely, could complete happily. Okay.
Okay, now the next is seating and attention strategies. During a literature lesson, two students, Rohan and Samir, sit at the back, whispering and passing notes. The noise distracts others, and attention shifts away from the lesson. Now, what the strategy, ma'am? Are we going to ask one student to sit on any other seat or doing something else? Anything silently which won't hurt them? Their class prestige will be the same. So, in this seating strategy, strategic placement should be there. It means if distracted students are sitting at the back, we can ask them to come at front, or we can ask two distracted students to sit in one line or another. And clear sidelines. It means everyone should be visual and our eye should be at the everyone's seat. Means they should know that teacher is watching us. Standing on one place and looking at only on few students. This method give the chance to the backseaters to do whatever they want. Then next one is proximity control and avoid hotspots. Anyone wants to speak on this? Speak about such backbenchers, please. What strategy are you using in your class? Anyone, ma'am? Backbenchers are everywhere.
Yes, you can share how to
Ma'am.
deal with the backbenchers.
Ma'am, in this
Yes.
case,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
will the rule that anytime I can ask the question from the literature or from the textbook which we are studying now. Any one word I can ask where is it is, in which line or which page or which paragraph, so that they will be attended the period. Interesting.
Okay. Good. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Okay. Now it's clear everyone has so many strategies for the backbenchers. But the main thing is, earlier, as I said, that even students who are distracting class, they want respect. They want that in some calm way, our teacher has to speak to us. So whenever, if you are asking any question and if they are answering, we always say that, okay, very good, good student. Ask students to clap for them so that they feel happy that always we are getting punishment. Sometimes someone is praising us also. So backbenchers are, we can say, very good student. Little strategy we have to use to distract them. Okay, next one is attention strategy. How can we get the attention? All are interrelated. The same old strategy earlier also even we discussed that attention through different activities. We can ask the student to be attentive with her. We can go and ask them and just look at them and then convey the message that we are here. We are in the class, so don't distract it. Or we can say, we can pronounce the name. Okay, hello, Ravi. Don't say anything. Don't ask anything. Just pronounce the name. Now he will get the message, okay, I have to be conscious. Ma'am is looking at us. So in this movement means move in the class, go to the seat to the distracted students, then it will help you a lot. And always be with the positive attention. Never take negative attention to the students. Everyone has respect. Everyone has their own place. So everyone is respectable. So now the system number 4, emotionally intelligent discipline. In this, so 3 points are there. Correct behavior without humiliation. De-escalation strategies, handling aggressions and resistance. So directly we can talk that what strategy do you use to correct the behavior? The first thing is here, we should have to separate the behavior with the person. Always a distracted person can't be wrong. If a student is creating nuisance again and again, always he can't be wrong. We should not tag the student with that wrong thing or distracted child. Now it's all about correction, private corrections. Earlier we discussed that private correction should be there in the whole class, in front of whole class. We should not rectify the child. The next one is a calm and neutral tone should be there. Or we can ask the student, okay, in this way you don't want to present your chapter, and any other way if you want to present it, do it. Means choice, we should always be with the choices. Then empathy and boundaries. It means we should be connected with the child. We should know the child, their behavior and emotional balance. But what type of the child that is, we should know that. We should not humiliate a child in the class or personally wherever. Then next one is de-escalation strategies. Okay, student refuses to hand over the mobile phone. This may happen once in everyone's life. Okay, if such type of situation comes, then we have to stay calm. We have to give that child space, okay, and time, and ask them in a very calm manner that, okay, this mobile is yours, but you can take it later on because we can't carry it in the class. So in a very calm manner, we can show the student a way a proper discipline. We are not saying that mobile is not yours, but we are saying in the class you are taking it, it's wrong. So in a very soft manner, in a very strategic way, we have to shift the child. We have to ask the child to stop that and don't use that. And the next one is handling aggressions. Yes, handling aggression means here his child is, I am not doing this, stop telling me. It means sometimes it happens, a student is not ready to do anything. Anyone has any experience of such child? Who doesn't want any order, any rule? He is already a Basha in his own way. Anyone wants to share? Okay. Here also, I think time is okay. Time. Okay, it's okay. Very little left. Last one strategy left. In this case also, when we handle aggression, we should stay calm. Teacher should always stay calm. This is the first and foremost feature of a teacher. She should not be aggressive. Students can be aggressive. So we should be neutral and maintain safety first. Sometimes we see that if students are fighting, then what we have to do? We can't do anything. Okay, aggression we have to control, but first of all, we should see the safety part of the child. We should be in between those students, and we should take the child who is weaker to the safe side, so that nothing harmful will should happen. And we acknowledge the emotions. Okay, you are like this, but wait. We can acknowledge that, okay, you are aggressive. It's okay, but wait. We will listen to you. At that time, we should not give any instruction. We should not ask him for any rule. We should just calm him down so that after cooling, he will talk to us. We can ask him, whatever your behavior was there was wrong. Because when he was in aggressive mode, at that time, no rule will work. So we have to very calmly take that student away from that scenario, calm that student down, ask him water, then talk to him. What's the problem is, why was he doing so? Then the problem will be solved. But in that place, if we become aggressive and ask them, scold them, threaten them, then situation will become worse. So next, last system has come, restoring respect and culture. Yes, whatever we have made the rule, whatever rules we have learned, that culture, that will become culture. As earlier I said, whatever rule we implement, whatever routine we implement, that will become rule. Then if we success in making a rule, then our class will be calm. Our class will be a successful class. We will teach more than others. And our class will be the best class of the school. Our student will be the best student of the school. For that, what we have to do first is relationship-based discipline. Relationship-based discipline means we, student, and you, both of you should respect each other. If you are listening to them, then they have to listen to you also. This culture should be maintained, and every student should be made accountable of doing the work. If here a student is saying that I don't want to work with them, how can a classmate will discard other student? So this connectivity in the class we have to make in between the students also, in teacher and student also. If connectivity is there, and we can ask them that you are accountable for every work, you are responsible for every activity. If classroom rules are there, then your class will be best because they are following the rule. It means every teacher has to frame the relation-based discipline rule. They should teach the student what they have to do, what they don't have to do. Okay, next one is accountability system. It means clear expectations should be there. If homework is not given, then ask the student, at least this much you have to do. Or you haven't done homework, then what will happen? If you are not doing anything, whatever we are giving, then it will impact your life, it will impact your work, it will impact your development. So complete clear instructions are there of the student, and teacher has to teach the student individually. If anyone is not doing any work, that why this one is harmful, and direct that student. And the most important thing is only once, don't do it. Take follow. It means again and again, every second, third day, ask the child, the homework is there? Have you completed the homework? Are you, even now you are in any fighting? Are you that creating nuisance in the class? So the student will feel connected. Okay, teacher is asking me. Teacher is knowing my name. He will feel respected. Now the next one is building trust. Again here, again and again, if we are asking a child his problems, his work, okay, and rectifying the student's problem, then we are building a type of trust with him. And if we are asking them, okay, whatever problem is there, come to me and share with me, that positive relationship will be there. So your follow-up and your connectivity build trust in the child. And then the next one is about ownership. How to build ownership? Always share agreements. Means one group, if in a group activity, if one student is not bringing anything, then students start bullying him or asking him, okay, you haven't done it, you are not our part of my group. So this should not be there. Teachers should go there and ask them, how will you build the relationship in that, and how you can, everyone will be given a ownership, that you will bring on chart, you will bring sketch pen, you will direct the student, and end of the group work you will do. So everyone has their own work and they will do that work. So student will feel that, okay, this is my work, I have to complete it. And because of me, my group will lag back. So that student feel happy and doing that work very respectfully, and be proud of the group. So next one is the long-term transformation. Long-term transformation is like whatever we have learned till now. In that one is predictable calm, that we should be calm. Whatever routine we are making, short type routine, medium type routine, and then long-term routine. In this way, we have to make a routine and we have to deliver these routine to the students. And every time we should be consistent in then following that rule. Like first is we should be calm, respectful relationships should be there, shared ownership should be there, that everyone is responsible for the discipline of the class or for any work of the class. Then reduced disruption will be there because everyone is busy in their own work. Everyone is feeling that he is the part of his class. And then emotional growth will come. Emotional growth, they feel safe, they feel respectable. So this will become a, you can say, exemplary class for the school. And you will become an exemplary teacher of the school. Now, the thing comes that please share what key takeaways are there. What do you think? What change you are going to make tomorrow? One change you are going to make tomorrow in your class. Any one change. Anyone want to share, please? What one change would you like to make in your class? You can write in the chat box even. Krishna Priya ma'am. Just now, whatever we have learned, we haven't learned silencing the class. We have learned calm class strategies. That calm class should be there. Mansi ma'am, what one change would you like to?
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
I would, my takeaway is this escalation flow, ma'am. I really like that, which was at the footnote. I really like that. And that is my takeaway.
Okay,
How
thank you,
do
ma'am.
we- yeah.
Yes, Krishna Priya
Sumana
ma'am.
Sumana ma'am has written by making active classroom for all. Krishna Priya ma'am has written making students more interesting, like stories, home, language. Sumana ma'am again written involving everyone in the class to participate in the class.
Yes. Participation is very necessary for every child. Only then they will feel connected. Yes, anyone else?
Archana ma'am will has written, I will set
Ma'am,
proper rules. I will repeat
from
as many
this,
times as possible. Yes, ma'am.
may I? From this
Yes,
session,
ma'am.
I have learned I had to notice each and every child, and children has to notice me. So this will be the conclusion from me. Whatever you have taught, that all I'm going to implement in my class, without harming their mind. In a positive way, I'm going to handle the child, and even they will notice me, I will also notice them. This will be the conclusion.
Pooja ma'am has
Yes,
written
thank you.
by asking easy questions. Okay. Madhavi ma'am has written, my class children can do the group activity. For example, I just said the concept of for the topic. How they are doing means they will give them question themselves and they can find out real life situation and finally encourage with them, then they realize the concept. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone else? I exceeded one time a lot.
Happy class, progressive class, yes.
No, ma'am.
Sure.
Actually, this escalation flow, no, what I feel can be implemented for the aggressive nature of the class, and boredom of the class can be controlled with this. What directions is implemented? That definitely work, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Kritika ma'am has written, give hands-on activities and real-life examples. Okay.
Today, every student wants engagement.
Yes.
According to their mood, according to their interest. So in whatever way they want, and in a class, if 35 students are there, all are not same, but teachers have to make themselves like that, that if 35 heads are there, then 35 activities should be there to engage them. And everyone's calling the name will help a lot. They feel connected. Okay, teacher pronounce my name. They feel connected. So I believe that once just pronounce in the class everyone's name. That if I call a name, because I can see 2-3 names, that's why I was calling those names. That's why I was calling their name. So calling names is a very good idea in the class also.
Also, ma'am, ownership works. If we give them ownership of some for the task, I think that will also work for a calm classroom. Like, okay, you are responsible for this particular task, a very simple task, or like anything could be. Like, see that your friends have drank water, you are a power saver monitor, you are a cleanliness monitor. The ownership, like, okay, you help your friend in completing notes. That also actually helps a lot with the bossy children, no? Those who are bossy, and if we engage them with one of the bloomer or one of the child who is absent for a long time, and if we give them task, okay, see this, I will give you star certificate. Your task is to help him in completing his notes, so that bossy child who is not being noticed by anyone feel the ownership. Okay, I am the boss of this particular task. Teacher has noticed me, and I'll see that. But definitely the rules should be there, that there should not be harm to the other child when you are being bossy. Or those are the few basic things to be considered, and the ownership can be given. So that definitely happy class, progressive class will work.
Yes, ma'am. You are right. Ownership means head of the class, and head is always happy. But you are right that clear instructions should also be there. If head is there, then clear instructions that how a head should work, how your ownership should not harm others. Yes, anyone else?
Madhavi ma'am has raised her. Ma'am, could you please stop sharing? Then we can see you can see many names then, those who are present. Madhavi ma'am has raised hand. Yes. Anyone else want to share anything?
And all can make camera on. You can see. Ask them to camera. Ma'am, please. We want to see your faces also.
If possible, if some
Possible,
of you
yes.
can put your cameras on. Thank you, Alka ma'am. It was really a wonderful session. And I think everybody has been benefited from this session. Anyone else? And we will be sharing the feedback form in the WhatsApp group. Also, the certificates will be shared in the WhatsApp group by tomorrow. So,
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you to all.
thank you all. And
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
And,
you so much, ma'am. Thank you
and the
both of you.
topics, yes, Krishna Priya ma'am, thank you. And the topics you want as future workshop, you can mention in the feedback form only. So thank you all. Thank you, Alka ma'am, once again for devoting your time to the admission platform. Okay, Madhavi ma'am has written, always I used real life examples. Yes. Swati ma'am also. So thank you all. And I hope in future also on every week we are arranging workshops and hope to see you all joining again. Thank you. Thank you all and have a very good night. Thank you.